Alright, what's going on, everyone? So, working on some more Xboxes. Now this was the non-HDMI I've brought up many times that I got in the deal where it was the Pro and this one for $30. Both had Red Ring of Death. I was able to get both of them working. And I started making videos on water cooling this one, but I'm going to kind of put that aside for now. But this will be one that I am water cooling. This will probably just be a personal system. However, we will be working on the other one. The other one being the iBox 360. I don't know, we'll come up with a name for it. So this was one that I did finish. It was going to be for sale. However, I'm going to go back and water cool this one. So we're going to be using the Swiftech pump, acrylic top, and probably this reservoir here. That's just from Amazon. So I have the extra water block I'm going to be putting in this one. We'll be taking out the Talus Moon fan and glow-in-the-dark fan tunnel, and that's where we're going to put, we're going to use this dual 50mm radiator. Only thing I need to order for this is some 50mm fans that will fit right on there, and this will be on the back where the fan is. Put the two 50mm fans on this one. And then for the most part, should be how it's set up. I might kind of swap these. That's one thing I have to spend a lot of time just kind of test fitting and seeing what's going to be the best orientation for everything to fit without having stuff sticking out too much. Now, for example, this one, I want just the pump part inset into this top like that. So just the acrylic top piece will really be sticking out of the top there. Should be sticking out no farther than the fan already is. Same with this reservoir. However, I mean, if it works out where this one's better or some other kind of reservoir, we'll do that. But probably use this one. Again, it'll be like inset. I might kind of flip how these are. But we're going to go ahead and first plug it in, make sure everything's still good with it before we take it all apart. Otherwise, this fan will stay. Obviously, the sticker bomb DVD drive will stay. It's already got the 60GB hard drive. I'm just going to repaint a top piece for that. And like I said, I'll be cutting into this, obviously, but I'm not trying to repaint it or anything. We want to keep it how it is. We've got the clear faceplate. We've got the blue and purple ring of lights. And yeah, so we're going to get into this. Before we do, keep in mind, I now have 3 Xboxes on eBay right now. We've got the R2-D2 Slim, we've got the Halo 3 edition, and the Grand Theft Auto Xbox is back up for sale. Buyer flaked out on that one. I haven't heard from him in over 72 hours, and yeah, so we're going to redo that one. My cat's over here messing up all the Lego boxes. So yeah, this one's already been packaged up. It is back on eBay. So interested, go back, check it out. It is the only one right now that seems to have any watchers anyway. People seem to really like that one. And then only other thing, and we'll get into this after we're doing this Xbox. Once we get this one finished up, we are going to get into some PlayStations. Like I said, I've got some PSPs. Probably start on those right after we finish the iBox. And then I am curious if anybody is actually interested in buying the PS3 Slim. I plan on getting an old 80GB PS3 Fat that I can use for PS1, PS2, PS3, and of course we'll probably customize that one. However, you just can't find water blocks for these anymore. You'd have to get some kind of special one, or either modify one or find smaller ones that you can fit separately on here. But for the most part, the Slim and the Fat are the same orientation and all that. But yeah, so if anyone's interested, we'll go back and make sure we fit and finish this temperature display. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much done and working on here. It'll obviously come with a bunch of games, cables, at least this controller. I might swap the shells, because this one, the battery's just completely dead on it. So maybe I can get a replacement battery or motherboard or something, because obviously this one matches the system. But yeah, let me know if anyone is interested in that. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the iBox. Okay, so a lot of the time is spent trying to figure out the best orientation to fit everything. So obviously, one, I like to have it go upright, sideways. Got to think about the fill port, drain port, especially with this fan in the way. I got to make sure I can fit everything in there without cutting into the bottom vent, because that will stop it from going upright. So I think this is going to be the best orientation, is having the pump on the back side and have this reservoir upright, and then obviously this will be inset as far down as we can get it. It should, the pump should definitely be lower than the fan is. The reservoir might stick out a little bit past the fan, which is totally fine. And so this system will have to be filled to the top before it's turned on, so that you know, the water's being fed into the pump, because the entrance will be the other port down here. And if I moved it the other way, then this would just stick out way too far, and then we would have to have another tube coming out the top somewhere. So this is going to tuck everything in nice. These will be mounted on the inside, and then we will cut a square out here and a square out here. So there'll still be part of the case going across here that'll kind of block all this. You'll just see the top clear portions of these, which will match really nicely. Now I already went ahead and swapped the metal frame on this one. Side, and this was the frame that was on the other Xbox that was just kind of sitting on the side. That already has the metal frame cut out here. I will have to go back and cut this out a little bit farther, because this was designed to perfectly fit the triple 40mm radiator, but we're going to use the dual 50, which I just ordered fans for. And basically we're going to cut that out more, and then we'll have to cut out, obviously, on the actual case itself, pretty much just where all of the holes are, just all the way around, because this will stick out the back a little bit. But without the original fan, and probably the fan tunnel as well, it should be able to sit in pretty far, because we have just 10mm thick fans going on there, so they'll be very thin. This will go about right there, and then we'll just make sure that the pump can sit down as far as possible. Might have to cut the, keep this over a little bit, and then cut a little bit of this out here so that the bottom of the pump will sit farther down. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do next. Pop this out. I just got home from work, so before I get cleaned up, I'm going to go out in the garage and cut out those little sections there. And then apart from that, shouldn't have to really do anything else except start putting on the water block. Obviously take the heat sinks off, and then start to mount this stuff and figure out what fittings I'm going to use and the path of the tubing. Okay, got that cut out wider, and this little notch cut out, so this fit through here. It's not a perfect fit, but it does fit through there, so this can then be probably mounted about right here. It'll stick out a little bit from the back. There'll be room for the fans there. And we'll leave that there while we test fit this guy. And so yeah, that should fit right in that little slot. Now the radiator, maybe we'll move it back a little bit so it's this can sit all the way down flush. This will obviously, like I said, stick out of the top a little bit. But yeah, that's good enough for now. We want to get the water block put on. Oop, that's this one here. I'll take these off, put the water block on, and that way we can, because obviously this is going to be in the way to test fit, and we'll do a little more tweaking on that, and we'll pick that up on the next video, as well as soldering this here onto the actual underside of the motherboard right here where the power goes in, and that's going to power our pump since it draws a lot of power. Well, 12 volts, but it draws a lot more amps than LEDs or fans, so we want that to have its own thing there, and then obviously the big fan and everything else we can power through this here or the DVD drive. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll pick this up soon. Have a good one.